My name is Doris Chow, and I oppose the rezoning of 105 Keefer. During the Historic Area Heights Review, also known as the HAHR, Councillor Meggs himself warned everybody that densification does not equal revitalization. Despite that warning, on page 10 of the HAHR, it says, and I quote on page 10, general consensus was reached in Chinatown to allow moderate height increases as part of the residential intensification strategy to revitalize the neighborhood. The original intent of this residential intensification, as some have already spoken in the last couple nights, was to have more warm bodies in Chinatown and people with higher incomes to support the businesses. Have these new units, however, in recent years, we have seen an increase of up to 700 or 800 new units of housing in Chinatown. And my question is, have any of these new units really achieved what was intended? And if so, then why is the city looking at strategies to protect long-time mom and pop shops through the Historic Neighborhood Business Research request for proposals? In the request for proposal, sorry, I forgot to note what page it was on, but there is a quote that says, throughout 2015 and 2016, several retail assets with long-standing ties to the communities of Chinatown, Oppenheimer, and Strathcona were displaced or forced to close. If the residential intensification theory were true, then shouldn't the businesses have been thriving? And I also further want to question, with all the contention around this particular site and the densification being proposed here, why this location? The Northeast Falls Creek Emerging Directions, which is about 2 or 3 blocks away from this site, the city states that the city-owned blocks alone could generate approximately 850,000 square foot of density, representing 1,000 units, including 200 to 300 affordable housing units, not to mention the St. Paul's Hospital that will be coming into the neighborhood. Isn't that enough densification? Also, I would state that on page 2 of the Historic Area Heights Review, and I quote, for every supported higher building, a significantly higher standard of architectural and urban design excellence will be required. Yet the application was not supported by the Chinatown Historic Area Planning Committee, and despite the vote of support by the Urban Design Panel on page 2 of Appendix E, the panel expressed levels of concern and opposition. Is that excellence? Some young people have also spoken saying that they want the opportunity to buy in the neighborhood, or that we need more housing supply in order to address affordability. A simple search on Craigslist for Chinatown features executive suites and short-term stays for, quote, minimum 30-day stay or 6 to 12-month leases. Is this affordability? Recent City of Vancouver Housing Vancouver Strategy Reset says, Vancouver does not just need supply, we need the right supply. I appreciate that BD tried to introduce more family units in this proposal. But the recommendation from the City of Vancouver Reset was to set affordability targets by income range instead of type of housing supply. Is that not an option? On April 2016, City of Vancouver approved the Affordable Home Ownership Program, which included the Affordable Housing Choices interim rezoning policy, which could include selling 20% of the units below market and including a secure mechanism for maintaining level of affordability over time, i.e., for example, a resale covenant. That sounds pretty good to me. The young people could definitely afford it then. Regarding the 25 housing units, on page 18 of the staff report, it says that BC Housing committed to funding the purchase of the 25 units. It begs the question, why this location? If BD is not paying for the units, then they could be anywhere. I recently read an article saying that the Vancouver Chinatown Foundation is looking to put seniors housing above the BMO building on 168 Pender. What good are these units in itself? Do we want to be like Washington, D.C. Chinatown? And lastly, I want to say a note about community economic development. Some have said that what is the point of Chinatown? That there are so many retail hubs emerging across Vancouver, like Victoria and Richmond, drawing away from Chinatown. But that is not our asset anymore. The City of Vancouver CED strategy on page 29 notes the diverse and unique cultural heritage character of the area is recognized as a critical asset needing protection. And the
Chow?
accelerated...
That's your time.
Okay.
Giving you some extra time already.
Yep. And the accelerated implementation of Chinatown, and the policy 6.3.1 states that we should be accelerating the implementation of the Chinatown Economic Revitalization Strategy, which I have here if you want to see. Young people have highlighted
really
these.
You're well over, so thank you for your time. Okay, you have no further questions? So thanks for coming this evening.
Thank you.